As promised, same clothing and fake eyelashes as last time because I'm filming it right after. So this is our last hashtag 31 days of tarot for 2022 video, and that is crazy. So I'm Sarah, Coyote Tarot, and here is days 27 to 31 of 31 days of tarot. All right, getting right into it. What is your sassiest tarot deck and why? Now, I have talked about this and why-ish, I guess, in a previous video, but my sassiest, and this is really the only tarot deck that I feel has a personality, is my Dark Mansion Tarot. So if this question had been anything else, well, the next one is your most gentle, and I'll get to that in a minute, but really, this deck is the only one that has a personality trait, or that I've assigned a personality trait to. And readings that I did with this deck were almost comical to me. Like I was gonna say laugh out loud, but it was more like a snuff out loud because of what this deck was telling me. And it was like, pardon my French, but more like no shit Sherlock kind of messages. And I just felt like it was doing that to me on purpose because I already know the answer. Why are you even asking me this question? If, you know, stupid questions get stupid answers kinds of things, or stupid questions get really obvious answers. And that is what this deck does for me. I love the art. I feel the art style almost suits that kind of personality trait for me anyway. Maybe that's just because of my experience with it. I've grown to associate the art with that. I don't know. But for me, this deck, hands down, was in a no bullshit, funny kind of way. It's my sassy deck. Now, day 28. What is your most gentle tarot deck and why? So this is just going by image and feeling alone, again, because the Dark Mansion Tarot is the only deck of mine that I've really been able to pick out a personality trait from. The gentlest tarot I have is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn. And I really just feel like the images, the color, the art style, it's all very gentle to me. And I said in my last video for 31 days of tarot, it really has a grounding feel to it when I use it. So this is absolutely, without question, the most gentle deck I have. And not because of the messages that I get from it, but just because of the aesthetics, I guess, more so on that level. So nothing too exciting on that question that day. So day 29, share one tarot myth you used to believe and why you stopped. So I'm still pretty early on in my tarot practice and don't really know too much about all of the myths, I guess. I know that your first tarot deck is supposed to be stolen or given to you. I never believed that one, so that one doesn't really count from this question. But probably one of the ones, and I don't even know if I would call it a myth, I think it's a personal preference, but is having other people touch my tarot decks. At first, I really didn't like it. And same with my crystals. Other people touching my crystals, that one still kind of gets to me a little bit. But because I feel crystals absorb other people's energy and then you got to cleanse them and everything and blah, blah, blah. And tarot decks are the same. But you're prepared to cleanse a tarot deck. You know, after someone else touches it, you kind of put your crystals on it, or you use your incense smoke or whatever. But I didn't like people touching the decks at first. I thought that that would kind of like taint the energy of the reading. But now I kind of feel that it incorporates their energy into the reading instead of tainting it. Like, you know, if they want to cut, or if they want to shuffle, or if they want to pick the cards, it gives the deck kind of a chance to connect with them energetically, I guess. So that's really the only myth, which I don't think is a myth. Again, it's just a personal preference, but that's the only thing I've kind of changed about my tarot practice. Everything else, like I still kind of try and read in the same spot. Like I don't really read in my bed, which would be very, very easy to do, but I try and keep this space as my reading space, just to keep it consistent. And my decks know that when we're here, when we're in this space, we're reading. And if I'm on my bed just kind of like shuffling or playing, that's a different meaning. I'm not asking for universal advice. I'm just shuffling to calm my mind, or just looking at the art, appreciating the art, appreciating the images, studying the images, whatever. But again, that's not a myth, it's a personal preference. So myth-wise, I don't really think anything. I don't know that there's any myths that I truly believe or follow at all, really, in the first place. I don't know. Day 30, thoughts on tarot becoming mainstream. So if tarot hadn't become mainstream, I probably wouldn't be doing it. So I can't have negative thoughts, because I feel like that would be, I don't think hypocritical is the right word, but that would be kind of betraying how I got into it. If it wasn't mainstream, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. It wouldn't have saved me during lockdown. So I am okay. To answer the question, I am totally okay with tarot becoming mainstream, people getting into it and people learning and using their brain and using their intuition. I think that learning to use and recognize your intuition is something that everybody should work on. And I personally think that tarot helps with that. So good on you. Good on everyone for jumping on the bandwagon. I do not care. Welcome. I am also new. We should make t-shirts. Okay. Last day, day 31, how do you pick your tarot decks for readings? So it depends. Every month I switch out my own tarot deck and I use that deck for the month. And I pretty much stick to it. Every once in a while I'll get a glance of a deck or a hint of a deck in my mind and I'll be like, oh, I do want to use that deck. And I'll pull it out specifically and do a wee spread with it. But that's rare. Usually I stick to my monthly deck, and my private YouTube videos where I do pick a card videos for just my close friend circle, same thing, just a different deck. So we stick to the same deck every month and we switch out oracle decks every week. So usually we stick to those. Now, how do I pick those? Usually seasonally. I like to keep my decks in line with the seasons. So again, right now we're using more whiter background deck. The Wild Unknown deck is what we're using right now. There are pops of color, so it's not super depressing, but lots of white space in the Wild Unknown. So that's our January deck. Our February deck is going to be Ethany's Modern Love Tarot, because love. So that's usually how I pick them. If I was going away for a weekend, which in a week or so I'll have a video, oh wait, this is coming out on the 31st, so probably tomorrow, I'll have a video posted where I pack a tarot bag for a weekend away with friends, and I explain my thought process for packing those decks and why I chose the decks I did. So it really depends on who's going to be there, who I'm reading for, what I think they will like. And I like to give people options. So I'm not, if someone likes dogs, they have dogs, I'm not only going to bring my Magical Dogs Tarot. Someone might want a more traditional. So I will bring a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. Probably not that one, but a clone version for people who maybe want to see just the traditional images. Or, you know, maybe somebody loves the ocean, so I would bring my Mermaid Tarot deck. It depends. It depends on what I think someone else will like. Sometimes I think it depends on what they need. If someone's going to be asking about love, again, I would use the Modern Love Tarot. So it's hit and miss. It depends. It's all over the place. And sometimes a deck just calls to me. So with my friends, pick a card. We're doing the month of February, and I use one tarot deck with multiple oracle decks. Now this question is specific to tarot decks, but I just kind of looked at my oracle deck selection and was like, you, and you. And it was instantaneous. Those were the ones I wanted to use, and those are the ones I picked. So sometimes that's how I can pick, just based on whatever one is shouting at me from the shelf or from my little cupboard. So it depends. It's all over the place. Mostly monthly, by the seasons. That's pretty much it. Easy peasy. So that's it. That is the end of 31 days of tarot. I feel like it was a lot of filming, even though it was only like 5 videos, because I lumped them into 5 days. but that's the most YouTube video filming, posting, editing I've ever done. So for me, this was a lot, but fun, and I've enjoyed it. I really enjoy watching other people's videos and their Instagram stuff as well, because a lot of people have been posting them to Instagram, so I had fun. And I hope that there's a VR coming up that calls to me in February. Otherwise, I'm not gonna have a lot of content. So I hope I come up with something. I hope I come up with stuff to share, because I feel like it's gonna go from like 100 to nothing on my channel. It's gonna be weird, and I feel like my weekends are gonna be like, what am I gonna do this weekend? I don't have any filming to do. What am I doing? But it'll be nice to have a break at the same time. So thank you for Ethany with this fun hashtag response. And I know she's been doing it for quite a few years. And again, I'm just jumping on the bandwagon now, mainstream. So I'm looking forward to doing it next year and seeing the different questions and getting back into the crazy filming. Maybe someone will come up with a summer edition, who knows? But anyway, that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending your time with me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or the evening or whenever you're watching this.